Hey guys, it is July and it is that time. It's actually the first time that we've gotten a chance to get our distributions out. We kind of finished and bought the property in the middle of a quarter. And so, what I generally do is I wait till the end of that quarter and in the following quarters when we start distributions out and everything, just to kind of get the ball rolling. So, today, what I'm going to do, since it's your all first time, first of all, this is Ben Wilson. I know almost every one of you guys. I haven't met because we have a little bit larger group of investors than I normally have. I haven't met all of you guys, and I hope to meet all of you all at some point in time. But I wanted to come and just share a little video, a quick update. It's going to be 10, 12 minutes at most, and just walk you all through the property, walk you all through a couple of updates, walk you through our financials, and then walk you through distributions if they're available. Now, here's the good news on the front end. We have distributions this quarter, which is fantastic. I start off always slow as you all invest with me for the first time, which some of you all are first time investors. I always start off being a little bit more conservative for the first couple of quarters, just because when you have a new property, they're like a new child and you never know how they're going to act, right? You never know what their little tolerances are, their little idiosyncrasies, or what their struggles or what their personalities are. And so I like to always give them a few months and a few quarters really to really get our feet underneath us and to create stability there, because transition is always a little bit unstable. But we've been very fortunate. We have a lot of stability in this property. Obviously, it's a brand new construction that we took over. We've known about it. We've been involved with it since just about completion, which is a beautiful thing. And so I'm going to share some new news. Not a whole lot going on with this property because we didn't have a whole lot of what we call value add put to it because it was new construction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a little bit about, like I said, this property and the financials and just the state of the progress of this property. So that way we know that it's continuing to perform. And in addition to that, I'll wrap up by sharing a few other things with you guys that we're really working on. And I've got some big projects coming up, some more new construction projects coming up. I've got investments all across the United States that we're looking at. And by the end of this year, I've got some unbelievable news that's going to be coming down that you will absolutely want to be a part of. So that'll be more of a stay tuned event there. So let's go ahead and dive in. Pull this up here. Right. All right. What I like to do, just so you all know, is I like to bring on the properties itself and walk through the PowerPoint with you guys, just so that way it's nice and smooth. We're slowly but surely evolving this process, and it's going to be we're starting to incorporate a lot more technology. We're starting to incorporate AI and other platforms from a technology standpoint that are going to really continue to make this a smoother and more seamless process. Like I said, for me, this is very personal. This is very intentional. You all investing and trusting in me. So I want to always do as much as I possibly can to stay engaged with you all through this process. So obviously, these are all the investors, and you all are all the investors of Stanley Village Townhomes. In this particular complex, we have 66 total units. And what makes that really, really special, just to remind you, is not only can we sell it as a whole, but if we ever wanted to just sell off portions or units, depending upon how the market acts and how the market responds to the investment opportunities for the future, we could actually sell these properties off as individual townhomes as well. And so that's a big of a double whammy in the sense of we have two or multiple options on how we could exit this property if we ever decided to exit. That's not my intention, but I like to always have exit plans and be very understood on those. And in this particular one, we've got multiple exit plans. Things that we're going to hit on, we're going to have a financial update where our balances are at, where our account balances are at, any type of projects or property updates, the current mortgage balance where we're at, because we're doing interest only on this for the first year. That's the way that we structured this. We're doing interest only on this. We're not going to see a whole lot of fluctuation in the current mortgage balance. Plus, we walked in with a ridiculous amount of equity from day one, which is a beautiful thing. where the current market value is at based upon what we could sell it either as townhomes individually, or if we took it out to the market just with the drop, a little bit of drop in where interest rates are at and where the market is currently at, just from a cap rate position, and what we believe the value is, and what we understand the value is by people that are much smarter than us. And then a little bit of performance update and progress, and then what the distributions are as a whole. Because I have a few extra investors into this one, I don't break it down by every individual investor like I have in the past. So what I'm doing is I'm showing you all the total amount, and then you already know your all's percentage of placement there, and then the distributions will be going out within the next 48 hours. Those will come to you based upon your percentage of ownership in the property. Next, where are our balances at? Currently, we have our asset operating balance at $149,901.05. Yes, I have a little bit of extra funds in there. Why is that? Once again, I'm going to be super conservative for the first couple of quarters. So next quarter, if everything continues to treat me right, everything continues to function and flow right, we'll distribute a little bit more out of our operating account and get down probably closer into that 100,000 range. That's a number that I really like for this property. I like to always keep in our operating account money set aside that we have for future opportunities and future projects that we've already discussed prior. And then also having a little bit of nest egg there to make sure if something ever happens, we've got at least a full month of operating expenses in reserve set aside there. If for whatever reason something transpired that was out of our control. How much do we currently have in our property management operating account with you guys? Currently, we're at $72,876.43. Next, this is going to be our delinquency and our occupancy. And because this property, we are right there in the midst of a lot of renewals, because this was a rent up. A lot last in 2024, a lot of the leases were transpired from March until about August and September, because keep in mind, they were trying to lease up and get to that 90% mark before we would purchase it. 90% is the sweet spot. Our goal was always 95%. We did have a few tenants in there that are not our type of tenants, not our style of tenants, that were in there from the very beginning. We have since moved on from them. So we've had a few turnovers, which is okay. That's just a part of the deal, especially in a property like this. This is kind of that middle of the road property, meaning it's not the lowest end and it's not certainly the highest end on the rent rates schedules, but you have people that are transitioning, and you have transplants, and you have people that are generally coming in here prior to buying a house or something like that. And so there might be a little bit of a turnover run here until we stabilize and get to the right type of personnel or tenant base that we desire. So where are we at? Currently, we're at 85% occupancy. And with 66 units, that's a small amount of units. 85 feels like that's a low number for us, and it's definitely lower than we want. But two tenants are going to be moving in. Actually, no, a total of three tenants are going to be moving in this month, which will take us well back over and exceed that 90% mark that we're always looking for. Next is our delinquency. Currently, our delinquency is 8.7%, and we have that based upon the 15th. From the 15th to about the 21st, we always see a little bit lower delinquency at that point. For whatever reason, you got a lot of people that will tend to pay late until they realize that it's costing them a lot of money, and so we help them understand that, so that way they don't pay late, and we don't have to worry about mitigating cash flow. But our goal is to always be under 10% delinquency. That's healthy. 5% is the ultimate goal that we shoot for. This is once again just a reminder. If you don't remember what the property looked like, this is an overview. We've got a little fire pit out there. I didn't get all of the pictures, but this is an example of what our units look like on the inside and on the outside, what the kitchen looks like, and living room. Bedrooms are standard bedrooms. Beautiful little property, brand new. So not a whole lot extra to share about that. Couple of the updates. Number one, I like to always share, we had over last quarter, we had a total of 7 new turns. That's where they move out. We touch up the paint. If we have to touch up flooring, if we've got to replace knobs or cabinets or do any kind of touch up work to get it rent ready to our standards, that's what we consider a turn. And so we had a total of 7 turns. Great news for us is we have a brand new community manager that we've brought on. And what's really awesome is one, our community manager is bilingual, which is a fantastic circumstance in our market here in Middle Tennessee. That's a fantastic circumstance for us. And we also have this manager who has 7 years experience in the property management world. She's moved up here from Florida, and we've been so fortunate. She had a whole lot of opportunities and job offers, and we were able to win her over. And not only did we win her over, but here's what's even better is that out of all the properties that she initially came into before she finds where she wants to purchase, is that she decided she actually wanted to rent in Stanley Village. So she loves that property of ours. She loves the location. She loves a whole lot of what that property has to offer. So that's very good. So we're going to welcome Miss Candy Lopez. And then I went in, I didn't like a lot of the landscaping that was in place, and there were some dead trees and some dead plants. And so I went in, and I'm a big landscape and curb appeal guy. And so I've gone in there and I brought in my landscaping crew, and man, we freshened that place up. And so it looks spectacular. So just wanted to share a couple of those things, property and project updates there. Current mortgage balance is right at $12,000. So we've got that in place. Our current value, market value, what we believe is on a conservative level based upon people, like I said, that know these markets as well, or not even better than us. We're looking at just a little bit under $20 million is the market value on this particular property, which puts us at $7.8 million in true equity right now. We had a total investment and total investors of 4.7 million. So we're already at close to a little bit over 3 million in equity on this particular property. And so that's just a beautiful thing straight out the chute for us to be a part of. And I love that we were able to make that happen. So definitely super proud of us for that, because we walk in and man, we've got a couple years of equity, and now we have 100% bonus depreciation with our cost seg for those of us who are real estate professionals or are considered that from a tax position. And if you have questions about that, either get with the person who brought you into the fold with us, or feel free to always call me directly, and I'll walk through that with you and get you connected with the right people. But needless to say, we walked into this property with a ridiculous amount of equity day one, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So we are sitting in the catbird seat for a while now, and we've got a little bit of extra margin to work with. Our total distribution, which is what everybody wants to look at, we're going to distribute out a total of right there at $30,000 this month. $29,901.05 is what we're going to distribute out. And that's a little bit less than 1% on the distribution. Our first year, like I said, our first 12 months, we have our projections that we laid out on the very beginning, and we start off a little slow. We definitely have the money to distribute, but we're going to hold on to that just to make sure everything continues to be copacetic and functioning and flowing in the right manner for us. And so, like I said, I'm a little conservative to begin with. I hope that you all appreciate that. I know that my investors over the last 20 plus years that have invested with me, including my family and friends like you guys, have always appreciated that. But then we'll build up steam along the way. Hopefully we never have to worry about any kind of struggles or anything like that. But all in all, yes, the distribution is a little low, but I wanted to be very conservative. So if you have any questions about that, always don't hesitate to reach out to me. Our next review will be done for Q3. It'll be done by the end of October. I'll continue to do these videos and continue to keep everything rocking and rolling from that perspective. And For us, it's always good to meet the team. We are expanding, we're growing, we're moving, we're bringing on just unbelievable opportunities and new skill sets and new circumstances all the way through. And so, this is our team as we got set up. What we've done is we brought on two new key people really over the last 6 months, two very key people, a chief revenue officer and a chief operating officer. Both are going to be phenomenal assets, already are phenomenal assets to our team and what we're continuing to build. Brian has a ridiculous amount of experience in this space already through. And then Brian is one of our investors. He's been a longtime friend of mine, background in engineering and in sales, and understands the value of making money and profitability. And then we have Brian and Summer and Brock and my wife who have been there to support the entire way. They've got tons of experience. They're the ones that keep this machine going and flowing all the time. And we're going to be building the next time you're going to see this team continue to expand because I'm getting ready to bring on a couple more people onto our acquisition team. And we're really going to beef this up over the last 5 months of the year. So I appreciate you guys. I'm so thankful to be on this journey with you all. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your July as you head into August. And we keep everything rocking and rolling. Congratulations on the distribution. And we'll definitely talk soon. Have a great day.